What's up, gang? It's your boy Jordan back with another video, guys. We got another Fresh and Fit podcast reaction. Apparently this girl is giving dropping game advice, so pretty much making men aware when a girl is dropping game. Don't get me wrong, like on this channel I do not go against women, but I try and give an understanding to women out there, and women that are watching these videos, is because you obviously don't understand a man's perspective. You won't ever understand a man's side to the story unless you're listening to what we're telling you. And it's the same with me. Like, I'm not going to sit up here on this channel and talk about what a girl's needs and wants are, because I'm not a woman. So that's why you're going to tend to see me coming from a man's point of view and perspective when a woman trying to give advice on a man and what a man should do. It's like, well, no, you shouldn't be saying that because you're not a man. You don't understand the man's brain, you know. But anyway, I really do think girls should be dropping more game. I think it is attractive when a girl drops game, especially, like, you know, if you're a single man out there. I mean, I've had my fair share of experiences when I was single, and there wasn't a lot of girls that would drop game. I mean, current relationship I'm in now, I mean, she did come up to me first, and that's a massive turn on for a guy, because it just shows, it brings out a sort of character. Like, she's confident, you know, she knows what she wants, and you know that she's going to be nurturing. She's going to be there's going to be something a little bit about her. The ones that you kind of have to make the effort for, you have to drop game, you have to do everything. It's almost like, well, she must be lazy. Like, she just must be like, she probably depends on you more because you have to sort everything out. You have to do this first. It's like, men love a bit of peace from time to time. We like to take a slack off a little bit. You know, we've done the hunting, we've done the catching and gathering. Now you sort out everything out. Like, that's what men are like. You know, we don't always like to hunt and always like to go 100% all the time. You want to take a little bit of slack off sometimes. And when a girl drops game and a girl coming up to you asking what your number is, that is a massive turn on for a guy. So, hey, if you're watching this video, make sure you just go. If you're single, go and drop some game, man. Go and give it a go, for real. Anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get straight into this video.
Respect for women. Men don't have the ability to be like us mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't be, because they'll be seen as weak. You know, they won't be seen as masculine. And then those same guys that you said, like, oh, those are the guys that get cheated on. Those are the guys that get cheated on. They could give their women the money, the world, all the jewels, and they get cheated on. You know, so mentally they can't have they can't be equal to us mentally, because they view things differently. You know, like I said, I have like 7 brothers. I had to learn that with them, because I'd be like, why does he get? And then I had to learn through life, you know. So you might think that you want a man to be equal to you as far as what you feel like mentally,
right? But
I feel like I think that if you get that, you know, you will lose the respect for him, because his masculinity is going to be out the door.
Intentions turn into obligations, and obligations are not appreciated.
Can you say that for example, you say you have a man, would you say that you still want his nurturing side towards you? You know, like,
it's my job to nurture. No, not at all.
Like you wouldn't want him to show you a soft spot or anything like that?
Not at all. I'm the soft one. It's my job to be nurturing and soft, because he got to.
Where is she, man? Damn.
Go out there and get that money. So, like, he got to go out there and deal with all the hardships of the world. I am the natural born nurturer. That is my God-given duty.
That's right.
It is my job to be soft. It is my job to be nurturing. My partner, my man, I do not want to see no soft shit from him, because that's going to turn me off. And the majority of women, especially women who look for the man that I look for, men that pay all the bills, take you traveling, take you shopping, don't cheat. You know how hard it is to find a man? It's really hard. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I'm the soft one. I don't need him to be soft. I got that part down. I need him to be stronger than me. My job, we're natural nurturers. That's what we're here for. We're here to procreate. We're supposed
Wow.
to be feminine, nurturing. Because like I said, the minute he comes, like, say if he comes in and gives you his soft side, there's no line. What if he's just like giving you his soft side all the time? You're gonna be like, damn, this motherfucker won't even like toughen up, dude.
Yeah.
Like he'll lose his masculinity in that, you know. Men will be more comfortable
Wow.
showing those vulnerable sides to like their brothers or their fathers or their male friends. But to
Gee.
their women, they absolutely have to remain in a dominant, aggressive state, or else they will just seem super like they'll lose their masculinity.
Bro, this woman's speaking facts, man. Like, she is the first woman that I've seen on YouTube, social media, that is speaking facts. And mate, I'm not saying that she knows. It's like she understands how a man's brain works, man, for real.
And then they'll be soft, you know. Those are the guys that we call soft, the guys whining, crying, you know, constantly like showing that soft side. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it's my job to
They
be
call them
soft.
simps.
Right, like
And
it's
as
my
a
job
woman,
to
you're
be
not
soft.
supposed to allow your man to even get to that point. You're supposed to. So you're his other half. Like, I know women be like better half. If you were the better half, then you would be the fucking
That's the
leader.
one.
You're the other
That's
half.
it.
So
That's it.
it's up to you to be able to read that from him. Like, he shouldn't have to come home and cry. He shouldn't have to come home and say, "Baby, my back hurt." He worked all day.
And even if he does, he's gonna have to suck up those tears.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, women.
Are you one of 9 million EasyJet customers who could be set to receive up to £2,000?
True feminine women do not want to see their men cry. It is a big turnoff. We don't want to see that, you know, because it is a sign that his masculinity is not where it should be. And if you want a provider, protector, someone that's going to be loyal to you, and
you
like
gotta get him before that point. You gotta get him where he like.
And then my thing is, why do you want to see a soft side from a man? You're the woman. You're supposed to be the soft one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a beautiful. You should be the nurturing, soft one. Masculine, feminine, gender roles still are a thing. They should exist. You know, it makes the world go round and it makes our lives much better, because when women say things like equality, I don't think they think that through. Because what if they just said, boom, all right, we're all equal.
Shit, we roommates then.
Right. Now, what about this? What if they said only 50% of women can be models? Only 50% of women can be cosmetologists. Only 50% of men can be bricklayers. Only 50% men can be engineers. And then we are forced into those jobs that we don't want to. Like, I don't want to be building no houses, girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to take out my trash. Like, I don't want to do any of those things. So when women bring up this...
That's 100%, man. This is why I get fucking so annoyed when I see these other women out here just saying, we're not equal, we're not this, we're not that. Okay. Come and do a job at the site. Come and do a bricklayer's job for a day. Come and do this. Come and become a pipe fitter for a day. You ain't gonna want to do that. I mean, I don't know if there's any female pipe fitters out there. Then probably is like a 1% of females that love doing those jobs, bricklaying, all that stuff. Fair play. And some of them women, those, you know, their fathers could be, you know, have their own business. Then you kind of decide to take that family business. Okay. But most women out here ain't going to be doing bricklaying 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day. You ain't going to be wanting to do that. That ain't about you. That is not your nature. And us men, put on this planet to build, to create, to you know, all the buildings, all the skyscrapers you see were built by men. The infrastructure, everything, the power grid, everything that is running in today's world is run by men. And I hate to say it with that kind of egotistical kind of state of mind, but it's true. It's true. There was a thing with Kevin Samuels, and he said, if men one day all of a sudden magically just vanished into thin air, just boom, men all gone, women were the only race or beings on this planet, right? What would you lot do? You don't know how to run a power grid. You don't know how to run the infrastructure because you did not build them. Women were saying, oh yeah, we've learned. It takes years to learn that shit. We'd learn. What? So you're going to learn in 2 weeks when all the food starts to go moldy and rotten because it's not keeping refrigerated and all that stuff. You can't keep fresh food frozen. Now you got, you know, oh, where are you going to get the water? Where's your water source coming from? Where's your water source coming from? Oh, we'd go down to the local lake and drink it. Okay, contamination, bacteria, you would die. How would you purify it? Don't have it, because that's what men were made to do. We were here to build and create infrastructures, and that's what we do. It's just in our nature. Don't get me wrong, like, not all of us are like that. I mean, there are more creatives out there nowadays, which is fair enough, but she is spot on what she's saying, man. Like, just, you're good at what you do, and men don't have a problem with that. We've never had a problem with women doing the kind of taking care of people. You're so good at that. Keep going. I'm not saying that you can't come into our jobs and learn the process and procedures. You can absolutely do that, especially in this day and age. You can be what the hell you want and make as much money as you want. But percentage-wise, you want to talk about equality and jobs and all this stuff. It's like, it's not because men are egotistical and we don't want women to work those kind of jobs. It's because we know that you don't want to do that. You don't want to put yourself in a bricklayer's position for a week. You'd rather go and take care of someone, or go to the nail salon and do someone's nail, whatever the case may be. Or become, I don't know, a lawyer. I mean, a lot of women lawyers now, you know. But again, that's another thing. You go to court, you take care of the, you know, whoever you're a lawyer for, what attorney for. It's the same procedures and processes. She's spot on what she's saying, though. Spot on.
This whole equality thing, it's like they're not really thinking about it like from the whole perspective. And I just feel like as women, it's our job to be the soft and the nurturing ones, because they're men. They're masculine. It's their job. And if we expect them to protect us, and it might not seem like we're in danger because of how civilized this world is. Mm-hmm. But if you are having an issue on the street with a man and a man is trying to attack you, no woman is coming to save you, girl. It's going to be a man that's going to come and be like, yo, man, don't put your hands on that woman. You know, so it's like, I feel like we owe it to the men to give them the soft and nurturing side that they really can't. They're not saying they're incapable, but they know that it will look weak. They know it will.
Equality isn't 50-50. It's 100-100. And I tell people this all day long. If you come with your 100% and I come with mine, fuck what I bring to the table. Who house we eating at tonight? Your table or mine? So 100%, 100%. Now we talking about equality. All right, I'm the man. I'm paying all the bills. You're saving as if you're paying the bills. Now we talking about equality. So you come to me on my birthday, baby, I'm taking the bills off your hands for 3-4 months, right? You got the money to do it because you've been saving as I've been paying. So you don't got to figure out whether this glass is half full or half empty because you fucking know. Most women don't do that. Let's talk about equality. Now that's equality. If you gonna save the way I'm paying, oh, that's equality. If you got your own table to bring in your own house, that's equality. Fuck bringing the little yams and turkey and all that shit to my table. If I take the screws out this bitch, what happened to your food?
Mm-hmm. No, and I agree with that. I feel like when it comes to that, both parties should definitely be giving it 100%. Yeah. I feel like that's just across the board, you know, because it's never gonna work if one person is giving in more than the other.
Well, but people have this 50-50 narrative. It's not 50-50.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And I completely agree with you on that. And then kind of doubling back.
100. I don't need 50%.
Yeah, exactly. Because you want the full energy.
Go back to the chats here. I wanted to make sure that you guys get your airtime. Did you have something you want to say real quick to respond to that before I go on?
Yeah, real quick. And then kind of circling back, at least me personally, I wouldn't mind my man coming home and he's like, damn, babe, like I just had a really hard day and he's telling me about it and he's starting to get emotional. I wouldn't mind that.
No.
I'm gonna sit there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna hold you and I'm gonna be like, okay, so let's get through this. That's just the kind of person I am. Like I don't mind.
He had a hard...
you don't mind that, but we're not gonna do it. So when you expect it and it's like, oh, you're never emotional. It's like, don't expect that shit. That's why, like, I understand what she's saying, but she needs to take that. She needs to stop that. Because when she does have a man who comes home, doesn't talk about his job, doesn't talk about the stresses and the emotions of his job, and you're expecting him to open up, be emotional in this, and he doesn't do it, now you're like, oh, you're never this, you're never that. It's like, no, he's being a man. He's doing what's in his nature. You know, we're like, listen, we've got our own problem. If I've got a problem with something, I don't go to my woman. I go to my friends, I go to other men, and I seek advice, and I spill the beans to them, because they're other men, I can do that. But I will show my weak side and start crying and getting emotional for the woman, because she's my emotional support. I'm the one that's gonna build, get her motivated and get her through things. But again, yeah, she is my emotional support. She can be there and say, you know what, babe, I hope you had a great day. I love you. All this stuff, like that's what we need as a man. 100 get, but I can say I love you, but I'm not gonna start getting emotional and all this stuff. Like that is just not, as men, that is not what we intend to do. So when you women expect it and it's like, oh, he never gets emotional with me and gets all like deep. It's like, well, you ain't gonna, unless he has been broken of his masculinity and he does that, it ain't gonna happen.
Day at work, that's different. But him being emotional about it,
even so,
I just
like,
feel like
you're still human. And I, like, for example, my brother, we were raised in a household where it was like, if he were to get hurt, he would have cried. It was always, you're a man, suck it up. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
And this and that. And I would go to him and I would be like, hey, if you're hurting and you need to cry, you need to let it out. It's okay. Yeah, because then what happens when they hold it all in and they don't have that healthy outlet?
Because they
gets toxic.
They do have a healthy outlet. It just doesn't have to be you.
No,
but honestly, how many outlets can I ask y'all this? Like, as a man, how many healthy outlets do you have for how you feel about things?
There's not many, and I can address that here in a second. There's not many outlets for guys. I tell guys all the time, if you're going to be vulnerable, do it with other men, not around girls. Because women are not in a position to help men with their problems.
They don't know. Why do you say that? Because y'all don't know the problem. Men don't share it 100%.
They don't share it.
She's asking me.
Yeah, but I just want to like fully understand from like
men and women are different. We go through different problems. We go through different adversities. The problems that men experience, typically women don't experience.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what I've said before is that women have sympathy, but they don't necessarily have empathy. And what I mean for that is y'all don't really know, understand, or in some cases even want to give a fuck about the male experience. I told you guys earlier how men feel about girls that post certain pictures about themselves, etc. And instead of saying, you know what, you're right, I understand this, this is what men want, you said, fuck it, I'm not changing and I don't agree with it. Well, with all due respect, it doesn't matter if you agree or not. I'm telling you the truth. Whether you want to accept it or not is one thing, but to sit there and say, I don't agree with it, well, that's like me saying, well, I don't agree that women like tall guys. You look at me like I'm stupid. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
What's the definition of a podcast, basically? Because that's my second time actually going on a podcast. But
that thing you're thinking of right now, there's a small business for that.
All these ads are popping up today, man. What's going on? Never usually happens.
Want to know the most common mistake men make when approaching women, but most have no clue that they're making it? See, every time a guy approaches me, one of three scenarios plays out. Scenario number one, he talks to me without ever making a move or escalating. And in that case, he'll always be doomed to the friend zone. I'm not going to see him sexually. Scenario number...
I want your definition of a podcast.
Okay, can I finish answering her thing first?
Yeah, can answer, yeah.
Is that the question that you had earlier?
No, I just had this in mind. I just want
to
answer that.
Yeah, so going back to what I was saying, so like that's what it is. So like you don't have to agree with it for it to still be true, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can't speak for men. You know, that's
one other thing to answer your question fully.
Go ahead.
I said this earlier and I'll say it one more time for our nighttime audience, almost 9,000 of you guys in here. Sympathy and arousal cannot coexist. I'll say that again. Sympathy and arousal cannot coexist. So if you feel sorry for me as a woman, more than likely you're not going to be aroused by me. Yeah. Because for me to be in a position where you're actually sympathetic for me puts me in a lower class, it puts me below you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like it depends on where the sympathy comes from, if that makes sense.
But
a
where
lot of the time, the sympathy is going to come from my own inadequacy as a man 9 out of 10 times. I lost my job. I'm broke. I don't have money. I can't lead you. Sorry, I can't put a roof over your head. I can't protect you, whatever it is. A lot of the time, that sympathy that a woman has for a man, especially a man that she's in a relationship with, is going to come a lot of the time from my inadequacy as a man. Now, if someone dies in my family or whatever, that's different. I can't control that. But a lot of times, it's things that are in my control. And even then, I tell guys, don't cry in front of your girl. Even in front of someone in your family dies, you go and cry in front of men that you respect and know, not in front of your girl, because you're supposed to be the rock. I don't know what it is. We brought plenty of girls on this podcast. When they see their boyfriend cry in front of them in the first time, something inside of them just goes,
That's also like a social conditioning too, because it's always told like, you know, boys don't cry, like real men don't
Incorrect.
cry,
It's not
things
social
like
conditioning.
that.
It's biology. It's biology.
Yeah,
It's not biology.
No, it is.
It's
The women tell the men, oh, like the world is against you and all this, and then the dads be like, if you don't do this perfectly, then you're a failure. Nobody tells this man that failure is a part
Hold on.
success.
Let me stop you real quick.
But then that's how
what
you're
you just
raised,
mentioned
though.
was
but that's biologically because it's
No,
coming
that's
from
not
your parents.
biology. That's a
what you-
generational thing from society. That's not
conditioning.
biology.
Okay, so let me take it a step back.
Okay.
What she mentioned is, yes, the social conditioning, but where it stems from is because men are looked at to be providers and leaders and resource gatherers.
Also
So if
conditioning.
I cry,
Also from history.
No.
Exactly,
But
but why,
that's
though?
like from years of history.
Hold on. It is not
What they're
conditioning because that is how we survived for millennia. Men would go out
Absolutely.
and hunt and gather, bring the excess resources to women. Men are only valued and respected if they can create excess resources.
Yep.
Okay? Back
Yep.
then, it was food,
Yep.
maybe a place to stay, shelter. Now,
Damn right.
it's money and status.
Yep.
So, men have to provide more resources than they consume. Why? Because we're looked at as the breadwinners.
That's because
So,
they live themselves. through
Let me
other
finish.
people.
Please let me finish. Don't interject anymore. So if I go ahead, right, and I'm not able to do my duty and provide for you and have these excess resources and I cry, that's a physical manifestation of my inability to lead. The world has punched me in the face so hard that I'm not sure where I stand as a man anymore. And you as a woman, biologically dependent upon me, seeing me cry, that's going to turn a certain thing in your brain to say, this motherfucker isn't sure about where he stands in the world. Wait, I'm supposed to have a kid with this guy? Wait, this guy's I'm dependent upon this guy for survival? Oh, vagina dries up. Let me find a stronger man. This is why since the beginning of time, sultans, kings, conquerors have had hordes of women. Why? Because women knew I have to share this man sexually, but guess what? He's going to safeguard myself and my children.
Yeah.
That's what matters. I'm going to put my ego to the side for survival.
Yeah.
Only in this modern day clown world that we're in now, women sit there and say, you shouldn't cheat on me, man. That goes against biology.
Yeah.
Women have shared men since the beginning of time because women understood my security long term is more important than my personal ego with him fucking other girls. It's just now in modern day times, women have the ability to say, I'm not going to accept cheating. But let's say the electricity went off right now. We didn't have all this food brought to us, all this clean water. You're going to align yourself with the strongest man that can protect you and your family. That's what you're going to do. You're going to align yourself with that guy. And if he happens to fuck these other girls, you're going to accept it because your survival is contingent upon that.
Personally. And
Anyway,
it makes
continuing
them
on.
stronger, actually.
So you're saying you'll accept a guy that's going to cry, but if a guy cries, your bird brain is hardwired to be like, this guy's a bitch.
It's not though. I've had men cry in front of me, and that was never anywhere near.
Are you with those guys right now?
I'm telling you right now, they're talking so much whack because they know they're wrong. Listen, men, I've cried. Men do cry, okay? We cry, all right? But we don't tend to show it in front of women that we care for because we know it is a weak thing to do. It is. If there was one guy, let's just say there were two guys in a room full of 3 to 4, 5 women. Let's just say it was these women. And something happened, whether it was we lost our jobs, we both lost the same job, or we both lost something, and it was the exact same thing. That man was crying, the other man was, oh well, is what it is, we move. But the other man was breaking down in tears. Who are they going to be more attracted to? They're not going to be attracted to who are they going to look up to as a leader, as a role model, as someone that's going to guide them? It would be the guy who's not crying and showing weakness, because it is a sign of strength and nurturing and all this stuff, like what determines a man and puts a man into that kind of barrier, you know? And it's so damn true. What he was saying, it's like if you're with a man and he cries all the time and gets emotional all the time, it's true. There's something inside a woman that changes, because it's like you don't see him as the dominant. You don't see him as that alpha that is like, I don't show no damn weakness. Don't do it. Don't show it in front of my kids. Don't do it in front of my wife. I do it in my own time. But then you want a man who's crying all the time, and it's like, really? But now you got to look after him. You got to pick him up. Listen, women do not want to be doing that. It's as simple as that.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Those men that cried in front of you, where are they now?
They're not here, but that's not of my choice. It's just things
Did you
happen.
break up with them or did they break up with you?
I ended things with them,
Ah,
and not
It was
because
your
of
choice,
that.
but it was a component.
No, it was not. That the emotional part of it was nothing, had nothing to do with that.
Them crying was just a microcosm of other deficiencies that they had in their masculinity. Maybe they couldn't provide. Maybe they were broke. Maybe they were
Maybe
fat.
for some women,
Maybe
but
they
that
were
wasn't
soft.
the case for me.
You broke up with them, which proves my point. You're not
I
with
broke
them
up
anymore.
with them because of selfishness and because I was being done dirty, not because they were emotional to me. There's a big difference
I
between
love
that.
when girls say, I love guy that can cry. I say, where is he? And they say, oh, I broke up with him. Proves my
But
point.
people
every
come
single
in and
time.
out of your life. You can't use that specific example to justify that. Like you
Oh man, she's just one of those women that thinks she's right all the time. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. Girl, the girl that was speaking in the first place, take that advice. Don't listen to this one. They're both modern, but she said she had what, 6, 7 brothers? She obviously picked a lot of stuff up being around them. Don't listen to this one here. This is the one that you don't want to listen to because sorry. A man can be emotional. A man is allowed to be emotional and upset. Okay, he's allowed to do that. But when it comes to problems as in job loss, financial problems, family problems, I mean, you can be emotional about that as a man. And we tend to keep it inside. But it's like, they should go and find male friends, male role models, figures in their lives that they can kind of rub that emotion off with. Not your woman, not your female other half. Because, yeah, she's going to be there for you emotionally. Like, she's going to be the emotional side. She's going to be the emotional support. But you should never, ever really show that kind of weakness in front of a woman. Especially if you're dating a woman or you've just met a woman and you're crying in front of them. Like, they are going to see that as weakness, and it's true. And no matter how much we want to sugarcoat and snowflake things in this generation and say, oh, you're not weak for crying, you're not weak for this, you're not weak for that. Listen, that's why society is so, today is so, it's so confused, it's lost. It's like, it's lost in space because it's like, back in the day, it was, you're a man, you do this, you do that. You're a woman, you do this, you do that. Very simple. Now, everything is just so confusing. Everything's all over the place. And then we ask ourselves why we can't find the right one. Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Well, this woman here is living proof. Living proof, because it's like, you're so confusing. You're saying that you want your man to be emotional. You're okay for doing that, but then you're the one that's ended the relationship. Guys, you have your boy Jordan, and I'll see you in the next video.